Good evening and welcome to Happenings at the Center. As you may be aware, because we do this on a monthly basis, the co-host, Roberta Lynch, the Director of Council on the Aging, and we sit and we chat as much as we possibly can as to what's going on at the center. So once again, without further ado, Roberta, hi.
Hi, Jack. How are you?
No, I'm fine. How about you?
I am good. Just recovering from Medfield Day.
You're not alone.
Yes, it was a great day. Very busy.
Very busy.
Yes.
Very busy.
And someone commented on our booth. They said, "Oh, your booth looks different this year," and it did. We did a lot of work in creating posters about our exercise programs, and had a nice raffle going to the Newport Bay Club for a weekend away, and included dinner at the Moorings restaurant. So we had a very active day.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
We had our tent along with camera. She was going around, and I was interviewing people. We had a lot of interviews.
Nice.
And it seemed to me, as I said earlier, that it was with a friend of mine that came by that was more crowded this year than it was last year. But
Well,
that was a matter of opinion.
Well, yes, but also the weather was beautiful.
It was
was absolutely gorgeous. So, it was a nice day to get out, walk around, listen to the music, and see all the booths that were there.
Very true.
Yeah. But the center has a pretty busy October planned.
That's what I'm looking at right here. Now, do you want to
Yes.
go ahead with it?
Sure, I will. So two big events we have, and the first one is on October 15th. That's a Wednesday evening. We are having an antique roadshow. You know, people bringing in their item that they may have picked up at a yard sale or passed down through their family, and Jill Harrison from ArtSmart will be there to give a verbal appraisal of the item, and will tell you if she thinks you need to go further, if it's of real significant value, that maybe get a written appraisal for insurance purposes. So that will be a interesting evening, something we've never done before.
Yeah.
And Fosse is asking $10 donation per item. It is a fundraiser for them, and hopefully we have a big turnout. We have 80 tickets, so looking that Jill will appraise around 80 items or so. So if you're interested, come to the center, and you can buy your tickets for that evening.
You know, that's very important because a lot of people have no conception. Maybe they've had something for years.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they think, gee, I wonder what it's worth.
Right.
But you got Skinner, but that's costly to get it appraised.
Right.
I know. I've had them come out with Jack McNicholas to appraise what I have. And it gets costly. So this is reasonable. So if you have an item that you feel is worth money, it's best to have it appraised.
Yeah,
it's only going to cost you $10. It's not going to cost you $200 an hour.
Right, and it's also a social evening. So that's, keep in mind, that's part of it too.
And that date again?
Is Wednesday, October 15th.
What time?
6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30.
And before that, we'll be having our supper club from 5 to 6:30. So, and supper club is $6, and menu to be decided, but we always get a pretty good group now for those supper clubs.
I mean, you look at the supper club, that's reasonable. The appraisal is reasonable.
Yeah, so a good Wednesday evening.
Yeah,
Way to break up the middle of the week, you know, having something in the middle of the week like that.
How true.
Nice.
Let's go on.
Sure. The other thing that we're doing in terms of fundraising and social activities is our 7th annual Halloween dance. And that is on Saturday, October 25th from 7 to 10 at night. And it should be a fun time. Costumes are encouraged, and we have a great DJ, and we'll have some special hors d'oeuvres and beverages, and it'll be wonderful.
And they
Always
dress
fun.
in costume.
If you like to do that, you can.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's October 25th.
And that's October.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's an awful lot going on as I look here in October.
Right. The other thing, and you just mentioned this before we started filming, is the breakfast in October on October 7th. It's a Tuesday. Breakfast is at 8:30. But it's our triad. Triad will be coming in. It's a triad breakfast, and Joe Canavan will be there. And he's bringing in a speaker, John O'Connor, who was a former Secret Service agent. And he's going to talk a little bit about his past work and talk about, you know, the identity theft problem that's around. And
It really exists.
very important to learn how to, you know, the things you should do to prevent that from happening.
And that is the date we will be there, hoping to film.
Yeah, that would be
Triad.
great. Sure, I
Yeah.
think the information will be wonderful.
It is to a lot of people because situations existing now relative to fraud and scamming
Yep,
is getting worse instead of better.
right. And just right here in town, we've had quite a few people who have had their debit cards compromised. So you really need to be careful, and that's the number one thing that they tell you is to get rid of your debit card to help prevent identity theft and fraud.
And don't use it.
Yep.
Don't use it.
So one of the things coming up, we have, as you know, something called the Tax Work-Off Program, which has been around for many years. And that is a program where people 60 years and older who own a home in Medfield, their name is on the deed, can volunteer. And in turn, you know, they have received a $500 reduction in the real estate taxes. We're hoping that the program stays the way it has been for so long. There may be some changes to it which are still pending and we're not sure yet, but the Tax Work-Off Program will be up and running again, whether we have these changes or not.
When will that start,
So
Roberta?
it always starts in November. So applications will be available for people to fill out on November 3rd. And we accept the applications the whole month of November. And then that first Wednesday in December at the COA board meeting, we will have a lottery. We have 65 positions. We usually have about 80 or so applications. We may have more, we could have less, but if we have over 65, we do a lottery.
Interesting. You know, we were on camera and I wanted to ask you because I know of that grant that you have received. How did I get started?
Sure. I applied for an Aging Mastery Program grant from the Massachusetts Council on Aging. It is a program that was developed by the National Council on Aging, and they initially had 5 COAs involved last year for the program. And I applied this year, so now Medfield is one of 20 COAs that will be part of this or have been awarded this grant. And what it is a 12-week program, and each week it is devoted to a particular topic. We have our introductory meeting today, the 22nd of September, and we'll begin next week on the 29th. We are full. It was advertised in the last month's newsletter, and we have met our maximum number of participants. However, if the program is so successful, we'll be looking for sponsors to allow us to provide the program again in the spring.
That's
So,
excellent.
you know, some of the topics we have touched on already over the years and at the COA, but it's in a nice package. It's 12 weeks, so and we build on each week. So some of the topics would be, of course, exercise, healthy eating, the benefits of proper sleep, medication management, falls prevention, and several other topics that will be very interesting to allow people to give them some tools and information so that they can master the whole process of aging.
Sounds great.
I'm excited about it.
I would think so.
Yeah.
All the work that you have put forth is very obvious.
Well, thank you.
Now, let's go on.
All right, so this is an interesting one. We hear so much about the shingles, and we have Annette Anderson will be coming on October 14th, Tuesday, October 14th, and she's right after lunch. So sign up for lunch, come in for lunch, and then come and listen to her talk on the shingles. You know, she's going to talk about what they are and the effects of the shingles, ways to prevent by the vaccine. She's going to talk about the vaccine. Shingles can be extremely painful. They can have really severe effects on some people. So this is a talk that I think everyone should come and listen to.
I do, because I had a friend of mine, and that's why I say, if anybody, and I'm saying anybody within our viewing audience, had chicken pox, it seems that the reoccurrence to shingles comes with that factor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best to find out all about it, because the pain that Bob had told me is tremendous. It was on his side and around, and he couldn't move. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not good.
Right. So I think that's an important topic. We've actually never had that topic at the center before, so I'm interested in learning about it. I'm always hesitant to, have something, a new drug or a vaccine. I even hesitate on the flu vaccine, but the flu vaccine is so important. But, just putting anything into your body for me is always a little bit of a struggle. So I want to hear about the shingles vaccine. And it right now is approved for people 60 years old and older. So I have a few more years until I would receive that, but I think it's important information, and I'm glad that we can get it out there.
It is. Speaking of the flu shot, so
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be having it at the center again?
Yes, we have already had one flu clinic, and we have another one scheduled for Wednesday, October 22nd, between 10 and 12. And really, it's just a come on in, bring your insurance card. You have to fill out a permission slip,
yeah.
just some legal paperwork. And Annette will be there, and she'll be administering the vaccine.
Very important.
Yeah.
What else have we got going here?
So let me just flip over here. A couple of things coming from Susan Bernstein, our volunteer coordinator, and one was the tax work-off program, which she oversees. And again, those applications for that program will come out on November 3rd. The second program, which is growing in popularity, is the snow shoveling program. And if you are unable to shovel your walkway, your mailbox, your stairs at your front door, back door, you can call Susan and sign up for the program, and she connects you with a youth volunteer, and they become responsible for shoveling those areas after a snowstorm. The number of families each year is going up, and we thank the kids for their volunteerism, because it's really helpful for a lot of people.
It is, especially to a senior, especially trying to shovel, and consequently you can slip, you can fall, the ice and so forth.
Oh,
so
yes.
Much better.
Yeah. So that's something else. So if you're interested in that, give Susan a call. She'll send you out a form, and fill that out and get it back to us. So that's a good thing. And again, another thing with Susan's programs, we have a medical ride program for seniors. So sometimes they just can't find anyone to take them to their doctor's appointment. And we have volunteers that do that for folks. And we're looking for more volunteers that would commit to maybe one day a month to drive a senior to their medical appointment, wait for them, and then bring them home. It's such a great way to give back to the community, and very much appreciated by the senior.
Very, very important. As far as the senior is concerned, and the way I look at it, and I think we both do, the protection of the senior is very, very obvious at the center. And little things that Roberta tells you about, think about it, because it's very helpful to you, and the center is there to help you. Roberta, shall we go on?
Sure. I want to talk about our medical equipment loan program we have. And we have a shed to the side of the building, and we have in there walkers, wheelchairs, shower benches, commodes, we have canes, we have grabbers, we have slide boards, we have bed rails. Our equipment is growing the types of equipment that we have, which is great. And I just want to just make this comment. A gentleman was saying that he needed to go home because his wife has a walker, but she can't carry her meal or her lunch or her coffee or whatever to where she needs to go to sit down. So I said to him, well, why don't you, this was last week, I said, why don't you come in on Monday and we'll give you a walker that actually has a seat but could also be a little carry area for her, so that in the kitchen she can put her plate on the seat, her tea or coffee, whatever it is, and she can just wheel that to where she needs to go. And he's like, really? And I said, yes. So today came, and he came in, he went out with the walker that'll really help his wife. So we have equipment to be loaned out that will help people in their home get around and actually be more independent.
Roberta, how is the program that you have going for bringing the senior to the center?
Right.
Taking advantage for perhaps the day, and gives the mother or whoever it may be to take care so that they can more or less relax. How's that program coming?
How much time do I have? I could go on forever about the club program. It is great. It is growing. We are busting at the seams. We started in March of 2012, and we started with one client for a half day. So each half day is considered a slot. And we were slow to grow. All of 2012 was very slow. 2013, we were gaining a reputation. People were referring their friends to the program. Now, right now, 2014, September, we are at 39 slots, and we are at capacity, and we have people on the wait list, and we are running out of room, and we have people asking us to open up a third day. In fact, the Metro West Health Foundation, I just received an email the other day from Rebecca Gallo, and they are going to highlight our program in their next magazine that they send out, which is wonderful. Great staff. Grace Nunziato and Kathy Powers work together, and Grace is the coordinator, Kathy's the activity person, and together it's a great program. And the best part is we see the caregivers leaving the center very comfortable, knowing that their loved one is well cared for and is doing something different than just being at home, doing nothing. So it's a great program. And if I had my way, I would have it 5 days a week. But that's not going to happen now, maybe in the future.
You should be congratulated. What else have we got going? I see there's a number of things.
Yeah, so let's just talk about some of our bigger trips that we have planned.
Yeah.
I will say that on October 9th, we're going to the 1 o'clock show of The Lion King and at the Boston Opera House.
Well, that's something else again. They should see that one. That's beautiful.
And I do have 2 tickets available. As of Saturday, when Medfield Day talking about it, there were 2 tickets available. So I'd love to sell those tickets. And so that's one thing. We have a Mohawk foliage trip that will be going on October 16th. That is on a wait list basis right now. People really are looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that the foliage will be at its peak.
It will be. I've taken that Mohawk Trail more than once, and it's beautiful.
Beautiful, right? Yeah, so I'm hoping that everybody will have a great time on that. We always throw in a casino trip about every 6 weeks. People do enjoy that. It's an inexpensive way to just leave Medfield, have lunch out, and if you dabble in the gambling, give you an opportunity to just have some fun. And that is on October 28th. That's a Tuesday. And then I want to remind people that every year, well, for the past 4 years, we've done a cruise, a COA cruise to Bermuda. This year, we're doing a cruise to the Bahamas, leaving out of New York City. And there's information about that that cruise at the center. The dates we have scheduled are May 23rd to May 30th. It's a Saturday to Saturday. So if you're interested in joining us for that cruise, I say come on down and get the information and book your cabin.
It'll be beautiful.
It'll be fun.
For the Bahamas.
To the Bahamas, yeah, yep. And then just a reminder for people that it's Medicare open enrollment time that is beginning on October 15th to December 7th. Those are the times where you can make changes in your health insurance or your prescription drug plans. And if you need any help with that or deciding if you should make a change, then I recommend you schedule an appointment with our Shine counselor.
And that would be Ron Griffin, and you can...
Ron Griffin, yes, and we have Trish Monahan, who will be also working the Shine appointments.
And that's very, very important if you contemplate changes. Why, be sure that you get to someone that is very, very well educated in the areas of change.
Right.
Because that Medicare can be awfully confusing.
Awfully confusing, right.
Yeah.
But they also, HESCO has, the Shine program, also has a great form that you fill out, and you put your medications on the form, you get it back, you get it to HESCO, they put it through the computer, and they actually will give you what the best prescription drug plan you should choose. I think it picks 3 that would be in your best interest, economically speaking.
And you may find that sitting with these gentlemen, it's a money saver.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's a money saver.
And the appointments for the Shine Counselor are made through the COA, so you just call in, and I know they're booking into the middle of October right now. So, and they will have every Tuesday appointments until December 7th.
And that telephone number again, once again, is 508-359-3665. Shall we go on?
Sure thing. So just want to say thank you to the getting back to Medfield Day. I kind of missed this, but I want to thank the people at our booth, the FOSSE and COA, that were there helping and supporting the COA and FOSSE, and that would be Chuck Conti and James Timmerman and Gwen Santori, Neil DeRoss, Norma Barr, and Bill Johnson. And I was there also, and it was just a great day. And one other person I want to mention, if you don't mind, we've had a volunteer at the center for 4 or 5 years. I thought it was 3, and then Susan told me, nope, Tony started before I was here, and she's been here 5 years. So Tony Filippelli has been a volunteer at the center for a long time. Well, he and his wife have decided to make the move south permanently, and I just want to acknowledge how important he's been to the COA and the center, and all the times that he's helped with absolutely everything, answering the phones, getting people equipment, driving the bus, folding the newsletter, anything you asked of him, he was right there to help us. And so we will miss Tony Filippelli very much, and wish him well in his new location in Georgia.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
One thing is I normally spin to you, Roberta, which is very, very important to the senior. Let's go over some of the areas of exercise.
Our exercise program, I'm really proud of our exercise program, and it was interesting at Medfield Day. We had all our posters up about our exercise. You know, we have Tai Chi, we have core balance, we have Zumba, we have fitness camp, we have chair yoga, mat yoga. I mean, we have a lot of exercise programs, and a couple of people who also had booths, fitness businesses had their booths there, and they came by, and I saw them looking at our posters, and I'm like, oh, can I help you? And our exercise programs are so economical, $5 for a class, that I think it just was kind of, they were amazed at what we offered and the cost of our classes. So again, we're a 50-plus center, so if you're out there and you want to do Zumba and you have Thursdays at 10 o'clock, come on in. Class is $5, and just pick up a newsletter. They're around town, and you can find out exactly what the schedule is, or you can just call us and ask.
You know, exercising is very, very important to the senior, and I think I've repeated that, especially with the doctor, and I'll be seeing him next week. And he talks about it as to get off the couch, shut off the boob tube, and get out and exercise. Now, everything in exercising is available at the center, and it's very reasonable. And consequently, not only take care of your body, but also your mind. And believe it or not, as the doctor said, as you exercise, not diligently, constantly, but exercise, surprisingly, you'll live longer.
Well, through this Aging Mastery Program, one of the points we want to inform people about is that they recommend, the National Council on Aging, they recommend 5 days of exercise, 30 minutes a day. So that's one of the things we're going to be working with people on, is encouraging them to exercise, you know, walking or joining a class like we offer, but definitely increase the amount of movement in their day.
You know, the doctor told me now it's fall and the leaves are falling, and if you've got a camera, get outside and start walking around and take pictures of some of those trees, because they are going to be beautiful, and it's going to be for your benefit, because as you walk around with your camera and you're looking and you're watching fall, you're exercising.
Right. Good point. I like that very much so.
So that's very, very important. You know, Roberta, we've talked many, many times about the newsletter. There's so much in it, and we only have about a half hour to chat. Is there anything else you'd want to talk about relative to the newsletter, or anything that's coming up that's important to you?
Absolutely. Just we have 2 support groups. Cheryl LaValle, our outreach worker, facilitates a low vision support group, which is just growing, just like the club, it's growing. There's so many people who have, you know, problems with their vision as they age. And that meets on the second Tuesday at 10 o'clock. You don't need to, you know, call up and say, I'm coming. Just stop in and get some information on that first meeting that you attend. People are very supportive of one another. The second group we have is the last Thursday of the month at 10 o'clock, and that is our caregivers support group. And I can't tell people how important it is when you are caring for someone to have support and get information, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming, and we like to help you kind of eliminate some of that stress and give you the information to make it easier.
That's very, very good and very well put, because there are certain things that may come up that become very, very stressful to you. And there's always someone that you can go to and chat about it.
Right. And if someone is not ready yet for a group, we have a life coach that comes into the center, Dr. Miriam, and she comes in on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday in the month, and she will sit and work with people one-on-one, confidential, just kind of help people navigate what they're going through, whatever it may be. So that's another option. There's no charge. Obviously, it's just an opportunity for you to talk to somebody who's totally objective and can and help you just go in the right direction, or the direction that you need to go in.
You know, as Roberta, being the co-host and myself, do you realize exactly or what and how much is offering you at the center? Quite a bit. So in other words, it's like a friend of mine said, when he goes to the center, it's like a home away from home. Take advantage of the center. Anything that may come up, call Roberta. There are people there to help you.
Thank you, Jack.
The old clock on the wall, Roberta.
Yeah.
So is there anything you'd like to add before we say good night?
Sure. Just to remind people about the October 15th Antique Roadshow, and October 25th, our dance. And those two great events for people to come in and have a great time.
And remember one thing, pick up a newsletter. This is where information for you abounds. Once again, Roberta, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's always nice. And as a co-host, you do a marvelous job.
Well, thank you.
Easy run me, really. This is Jack Peterson wishing you and yours the very best. Good night.
This program was made possible through the generous support of your Medfield friends and neighbors, folks just like you. And thanks for watching.